And I am gonna show you guys how to make this card. This is done with the outdoor barbecue stamp set that is in the spring catalog from Stampin' Up. You can see there are a bunch of different stamps, and I just thought it was cute. We like to grill a lot, so I thought, well, this is really perfect for us. And I really liked the little funny dad joke here. A dad like you is rare. That's a great little pun there. So I am going to show you how to make this card. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for any interruptions that may occur. Both of my little ones, we are at home with the flu, and so they're trying to be good and just rest, and we'll see how that goes. As always, I will post in the comments the paper sizes and the items that I used, so that you may order them to make your own set. And what I really like about this card is this could be a birthday card, like A Dad Like You Is Rare, and then you could take a stamp set and put Happy Birthday on the inside, or a Happy Father's Day stamp. So I felt like even a thank you, like, I'm older, but when my dad fixes something around the house that maybe my husband can't fix, you know, or shows my husband a new skill, you know, I think that that's a good little card to give. A Dad Like You Is Rare, you know, and you can put thank you and really tell him how much you appreciate him. So, and I also think that this is good for someone, if you know some single dads. I know some single dads who are doing it on their own, raising their kids, and I think that this would even be nice to give to them as a little pick-me-up of encouragement. So I'm starting with Smoky Slate paper, and it is, of course, cut 8.5 by 5.5, and all I'm going to do is fold that in half. Okay. And then I am actually going to take the Poppy Red, which is one of my favorite colors. It's become my favorite, and you'll see why. It's just such a vibrant color, and it goes with so much. It's really fun. I love this color. I've used it in like all my cards in the last month. So the Poppy Red is cut 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and I'm just going to take my snail adhesive, and I'm going to go ahead and attach that, because I can go ahead and do that. Okay, so now I'm going to set this aside, because the next thing I'm going to do is use some Whisper White. And the Whisper White is 5 inches by 3 3/4, so it's going to act as a mat for this. This stamp set did not have Designer Series paper with it, which I love Designer Series paper because it makes stamping super quick. You can make cards super fast, but a lot of times people go, well, I don't want it if it doesn't have Designer Series paper. But the great thing about these is you can actually make your own Designer Series paper with these stamps. So I'm going to show you how. I am taking the steak stamp and putting it on the size B block. And if you're new to stamping and you're not used to, I know traditional stamping has wood-mounted blocks, but and that's what I started with, and that's what I preferred for a long time, but I have really grown accustomed to these cling stamps. These new ones from Stampin' Up! Are awesome. They don't fall off. They're super sticky. That was my biggest concern, is that they would just wear out faster, but they have not, so I'm really pleased. So I'm going to take some Memento ink here, and what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp these little stakes onto my paper, and you can choose to do it at an angle or straight on. It's up to you. I sort of did it at an angle here. It was just kind of this was an experiment card, and I actually really like the way it turned out. And I'm stamping off the side here. And you don't want to push too hard down on the stamping pad, because then you might get a little bit of bleed, and you don't want that either. And you do want to run it off the paper, because designer series paper would run off. So you can kind of figure that in while you're stamping it. And if you want them to go different ways, you could also do that if you wanted stakes, just different patterns. But I want to kind of do this a little different. And if you'll notice, the way I'm doing it is I do 2 and then I do 2 in the middle. It kind of makes it look like it's all in a row, even though it's not. And I really feel like I need one right about here. Okay, super easy. As you can see, I've made a little mess on my board, but that's okay. So now what I'm going to do is I want to color these. And that's why I use the Memento, because it is less prone to smearing than our traditional black ink that Stampin' Up! Has. You could also use StazOn, but StazOn really does stain your stamps, and there is a StazOn cleaner you can purchase, but I like to just wipe mine off with a little chamois and be done. I'm going to be using the Stampin' Blends marker. It is in the Dark Poppy Parade. I'm telling you, I'm loving this Poppy Parade. It's my favorite. Now on this one, it can go one of two ways. You can use the fine point, and this will help you stay in the lines. And you're just going to color the part that you really want colored. And maybe you don't want to make yours red. Maybe you want yours to be brown like a cooked steak. I guess I kind of just wanted mine to look like raw meat, which seems strange now that I'm sitting here doing it. But you can just color all the little parts that you want colored with this. And maybe you even want to get another one to color the bone, but I was okay with it being white. We've got a lot of great colors. I'm not going to sit here and color each one. I've already got one done. And if you remember, I told you to cut 2 of the Whisper Whites, and there is a reason you're going to cut 2 of the Whisper Whites. One is for the card and the outside, and the other one is for your inside. Now remember, if you do light paper like yellow or even this, you don't necessarily have to, but I really like the finished look that the Whisper White gives my cards, so I put that in. So now we are actually ready to attach it. And if you'll notice, the stamping ink does bleed through. The Stampin' Blends is a pigment-based ink, so it is meant to do that. It's to give you that very nice saturated color, not like a typical marker. Oh, and I'm already loving the way this one looks. We're going to go ahead and attach the inside. Now, if you want to stamp your happy birthday, thank you, or whatever inside, I recommend that you do that beforehand. But this one's going to be blank because I think I'm going to make this for a friend. I think I'm going to send him a little pick-me-up. All right, now I have some scrap paper. I got to make this banner on here. Okay? So I'm going to make my banner. Oh, I didn't mean to hit the camera. Sorry about that. And I did these. These are by these are almost an inch wide, not quite. They're 3/4 of an inch. Yeah. 3/4 of an inch by 4. Now you may wonder why I cut those so long. You can take it straight across and not do anything. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to use my banner punch. And this is probably the punch that gets the most use in my punch arsenal, because it's so versatile and it's so easy because it cuts the punch out for you. Now you can just slide it in and punch, but I want to just give you a little tip here. The best way to punch this is to flip it upside down and center your paper. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and punch that, and that's going to pop out. And that's almost ready to go. I'm going to put this aside for a minute. And now I've got this white piece of paper. Now this was actually a scrap piece of paper I used. And let me measure it real quick for you. And this is 5 by 7/8, so it's not quite an inch, but I am using A Dead Like You Is Rare, and I'm using it on a bigger block than I normally would. If you are new to the clear ones, again, I recommend that you start with the block D. It fits a lot of the stamps, and if you had one that was a little off, a little longer, you could put it at an angle, but D is a good place to start. Now, the one thing I love about this grid paper is sometimes you can really get these crooked, but with this grid paper and the clear block, you can line up your message so that it is straight on your block. Ink up, and I am stamping this. I'm trying to figure out where exactly I want to. I'm stamping it more towards the right because I'm actually going to punch. I'm actually going to punch out this one, and I punched that a little thick, but A Dead Like You Is Rare. And then you can actually run this, and this is what's good about having it a little longer, is you can kind of gauge where it's at. And I'm like, oh, I want that much, much smaller. So I'm going to take my snips, and I'm going to cut just a little off. And sometimes, and this is where it comes in handy to just take a little at a time. Don't be in a rush. And see, that's really what I want right there. That's perfect. Now I'm going to take my red, and I'm going to layer it right now. Move my paper. Oh yeah, I love that. Now all I have to do is make this pop up. And I'm going to do that, of course, with dimensionals. Dimensionals are like my best friend here. And we've got some new black ones that are really interesting. You actually get both the mini and the larger ones. And you can either, what I do is just line it up like that. And A Dad Like You Is Rare. I'll be posting in the comments the paper sizes again and the products that I use, but I hope you enjoyed this card. I am doing a giveaway this month for the month of March. For every like that I get on my videos, and every share, you get an entry and I'm giving away the pack of free dimensionals. So they'll be, free. We'll do a drawing at the end of the month. I'll do the drawing on the 30th. So you still have time to like and share my video to get entered. And if you have any questions, of course, comment below and I'll be happy to answer them.